Javier, a trucker with 12 years hauling freight across Mexico, from the border to the Yucatan. The highways are my home, dusty, endless, full of stories, ghostly hitchhikers, cursed rest stops, voices on the CB that don't belong. I've heard them all, dismissed them as tales to spook new drivers. I'm a practical man. Keep the rig moving, make the delivery, get paid. But on March 31st, 2024, on the Saltillo Highway in Nuevo Leon, I met something that turned those stories real. They call her the Dead Saltillo, and she's riding with me still. It was just past midnight, and I was hauling a load of auto parts from Monterrey to Saltillo on Federal Highway 40. The road was a black ribbon through the desert, flanked by scrub and distant mountains, the stars bright and cold overhead. My cab camera's red light blinked steadily, recording the empty road. The air was warm, but a chill hung in the cab, and a faint smell, like old flowers left too long in water, crept through the vents. My CB was off, the radio playing soft corridos, but it kept cutting to static, like something was trying to break through. I was tired, my eyes heavy from the long haul, when my phone buzzed. It was dispatch. A guy named Carlos, his voice sharp. "Javier, who you got with you?" I laughed it off, thinking it was a joke. "Just me and the road, amigo," I said. He didn't laugh back. "Check your passenger seat," he said, then hung up. I glanced over. Empty, just my thermos, and a crumpled map. My stomach twisted, but I shook it off. Dispatch plays pranks sometimes. Why did Carlos think someone was with me? 10 miles later, I saw her, a woman on the shoulder standing alone. No car, no bag, just her silhouette in my headlights. She wore a long dress, old-fashioned, like something from a museum, her hair dark and loose. I slowed, not sure if I'd stop. Company rules are strict. No hitchhikers, no exceptions. But she raised a hand, her face hidden in shadow, and something about her felt wrong. I kept driving, my eyes flicking to the rear view. She was gone, the road empty, but that floral smell grew stronger, thick and sickly, like a funeral parlor. The CB crackled, though I hadn't touched it. A woman's voice, soft and slow, whispered, "Javier, take me to the ranch." My name. My heart pounded, my hands slicked on the wheel. I yanked the CB's plug, but the voice kept going, circling the cab. "To the ranch." I checked the camera feed on my dash, my hands shaking. The passenger seat was empty, the belt unbuckled, but the floral smell was choking now, and the air felt heavy, like someone was sitting there. How did she know my name, and what ranch was she talking about? I floored it, the rig roaring through the desert, the mountains looming closer. The camera's red light blinked faster, like it was warning me. I glanced at the side mirror, and my blood ran cold. Scratch marks, thin, jagged, like fingernails, etched the frosted glass, glinting in the starlight. I hadn't stopped, hadn't picked anyone up, but those marks were fresh, deep, like something had clawed its way out. I kept driving, the voice fading, but the smell lingering, clinging to my clothes, my skin. I didn't stop until I hit the company yard in Saltillo. The lot lit up like a stadium, rigs lined up like sentinels. I parked, my legs shaky, and headed to the office. Carlos was waiting, his face pale, holding a tablet. "You need to see this," he said, his voice low. He showed me the cab camera footage from that night. My breath caught. There in the passenger seat was a woman, her dress old, tattered, from another century, her face unnatural, like a mask stretched wrong, eyes too big, mouth too wide. She was there, clear as day, but I'd never seen her. I swore I hadn't picked anyone up, hadn't stopped. Carlos just shook his head. "Looks like you met the dead Saltillo," he said. "Who was in my cab, and why did the camera see her when I didn't?" The footage went viral within hours, shared among drivers, posted on local forums. Some called it a prank, an actress, a doll, a trick of the light. Others whispered about the dead Santillo, a legend from the 80s. They say she was a rancher's daughter, killed on that highway decades ago, maybe hit by a truck, maybe worse. Drivers would pick her up, take her to a ranch near kilometer 15, only to find her gone when they arrived. The ranch owner, they say, would show them a photo, his daughter long dead, matching her description. I checked the footage again, frame by frame. The woman was there, then gone. No trace, no shadow, just those scratch marks on my mirror. I hit a truck stop outside Monterey the next night, needing coffee and answers. The diner was packed, drivers swapping stories over greasy plates. I asked the waitress, a woman with a name tag reading Luz, about the legend. Her eyes darkened. "You saw her, didn't you?" she said, her voice barely a whisper. "The dead Santillo. She's been on that road since I was a kid." She slid a napkin across the counter, a single word scrawled in pen. "Don't." She walked away, her hands trembling like she was afraid to say more. What did Luz know, and why was she scared to talk? A week later, I was at a cantina in Saltillo, nursing a beer, when I mentioned the footage to other drivers. Most shrugged, but an old-timer, his face creased like the desert itself, leaned in. "You're lucky, amigo," he said. "The dead Santillo doesn't let everyone go. She's been hitching rides since the 80s, always at night, always asking for the ranch. They say she died out there, hit by a trucker who didn't stop. Now she's stuck, looking for someone to take her home." "What does she want?" I asked, my throat tight. He didn't answer, just pointed to a photo on the wall, a faded shot of Highway 40, dated 1987. In the corner, barely visible, was a woman in an old dress, standing by a mile marker, her face blurred but her eyes glowing white. And on the ground beside her, a black leather glove crusted with frost, though the photo was taken in spring. Was she really the rancher's daughter or something else? I don't drive Highway 40 anymore. I take the long way, through busier roads, where the lights don't flicker. But she's still with me. At night, when I'm parked, I smell it. Old flowers, rotting, seeping into the cab. I hear the passenger door click, soft but deliberate, like someone's trying to get in. Last week I found something under my seat. A black leather glove, stiff with frost, though it was 30 degrees Celsius outside. I burned it in a fire pit, watched it curl and blacken, but the smell didn't go away. Last night, my CB crackled, though I hadn't plugged it in. Her voice, slow and sad, filled the cab. "Javier, to the ranch." I checked the camera feed, my heart pounding, and there it was, the passenger seat, empty, but a shadow flickered, like someone was sitting there, just out of sight. In the mirror, I saw them. Scratch marks, fresh and jagged, clawing deeper into the glass. I don't know what the dead Santillo is, a ghost, a curse, or something the desert won't let go. I don't know why she chose me, or what's waiting at that ranch, but I know she's out there, on Highway 40, standing by the mile markers, watching. And I know if I ever stop again, she'll climb in, and this time she might take me with her. Will I ever escape the dead Santillo? If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know what's coming next. I'm Somsak, a trucker with 15 years hauling loads across Thailand, from the rice fields of Isan to the ports of Bangkok. The roads here are full of stories, ghosts in white gowns, spirits that tap on your windows, shrines by the roadside where accidents leave more than wrecks. I've always nodded along, never believed. I'm a practical man. Check the tires, fuel the tank, make the drop. But on May 22nd, 2025, in Kalisan Province, I saw something that turned those stories real. They call it the haunted truck, and it's still circling in my nightmares. It was just past 9 p.m., and I was on a break, parked at a roadside food stall off Highway 209 in Kalasin, a quiet stretch of Isayan surrounded by rice paddies and tamarind trees. I'd been hauling cement bags from Khon Kayan to Roy Et, a routine run, and stopped for some zom tam and a cold soda. The stall was buzzing with locals, motorbike drivers, a few farmers, kids playing nearby. Across the road, under a flickering streetlight, sat a construction truck, a beat-up old Hino, its bed loaded with gravel. It was parked, engine off, no driver in sight. I was halfway through my meal when a sedan roared by, too fast for the narrow road, and clipped the truck's rear. The crash wasn't loud, just a crunch of metal, the sedan's bumper hanging loose. The driver, a young guy, jumped out, cursing, and ran to check the damage. The stall went quiet, everyone watching. Then it started. The truck's engine roared to life, no key, no driver. It lurched backward, tires screeching, and began circling the streetlight in tight, perfect loops, like it was possessed. Why was a driverless truck moving on its own? The locals screamed, some bolting for the trees, others frozen, their eyes wide. I stood, my food forgotten, my heart pounding. The truck kept circling, its headlights flashing on and off, gravel spilling from the bed like blood from a wound. The air turned heavy, thick with the smell of diesel and something else, rotten, like meat left in the sun. My flashlight beam caught the cab, empty, the driver's seat still, no hands on the wheel. The sedan driver backed away, shouting, "Phi Tai Hong!" the ghost of a violent death. For 10 minutes, it went on. Tight circles, the engine growling, the streetlight flickering like it was part of the dance. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and recorded it. The video shaky but clear. The truck, driverless, looping endlessly. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped, the engine cutting out, the headlights dying. The truck sat there, still as a corpse, gravel scattered around it like an offering. The silence was worse than the noise, heavy and wrong, like the world was holding its breath. What made that truck move, and why did it stop? The police arrived, their lights flashing, and checked the truck. They found the key in the ignition, the transmission in reverse. Crash must have jarred it, one cop said, his voice steady but his eyes darting. Mechanical glitch. The sedan driver nodded, eager to agree, but the locals weren't convinced. They whispered about Phi Tai Hong, about spirits of those killed on the roads, angry and restless. I checked my video, my hands still shaking. It showed the truck circling, the cab empty. But in one frame, just one, there was a shadow in the driver's seat, blurred like someone was there and gone. I climbed back into my rig, the rotten smell clinging to my clothes. The food stall was empty now, the locals gone, the air thick with fear. I started the engine, my CB crackling, though I hadn't turned it on. A voice, low and guttural, whispered, "Somsak, keep driving." My name. My blood ran cold. I yanked the plug, but the voice lingered, echoing in the cab like it was part of the metal. I floored it, the highway stretching into the dark, the streetlight fading in my mirrors. How did it know my name, and what was that shadow in the video? I didn't stop until I hit a truck stop in Roy Et, its lot packed with rigs, the neon sign of a noodle shop buzzing like a lifeline. I stumbled inside, the smell of fish sauce and chili grounding me. The cook, a woman with a name tag reading knock, noticed my face, pale and drawn. "You look like you've seen a Phi," she said, her voice half teasing. "You ever hear about a haunted truck in Kalasin?" I asked, my voice low. "On Highway 209, circling a streetlight." Her eyes widened. She leaned in, her voice barely a whisper. "The haunted truck? You saw it, didn't you?" She slid a napkin across the counter, a single word scrawled in pen. Don't. She turned away, her hands shaking, like she was afraid to say more. What did Knock know, and why was she scared to talk? I sent the video to my boss the next day, expecting a laugh or a warning about drinking on the job. He didn't laugh. That's the third clip like that this year, he said, his voice quiet. Same spot, same truck, circling. Always at night, always after a crash. He told me to delete the footage, keep my mouth shut, and make my drop. I didn't argue, but I kept the video, backed it up on my phone. It went viral among drivers, shared on line groups, whispered about at fuel stops. Some called it a glitch, others a spirit. I watched it again, frame by frame. That shadow in the cab, tall, hunched, gone in a blink, kept me awake for days. A week later, I was at a roadside bar in Khon Kaen, swapping stories with other drivers. I mentioned the truck, the circles, the shadow. Most shrugged, but an old-timer, his face creased like a rice paddy, spoke up. You met the Phi Tai Hong, mate, he said. That truck's been on 209 since the 90s. Construction driver, killed in a wreck, crushed under his own load. They say his spirit's stuck, driving that rig, circling where he died. If you see it, you don't stop. You don't look back. What does it want? I asked, my throat tight. He didn't answer, just pointed to a photo on the wall. A faded shot of Highway 209, dated 1998. In the corner was that Hino truck, parked under a streetlight, its cab dark. And on the ground beside it, a black leather glove crusted with frost, though the photo was taken in the dry season. Was that shadow the driver, or something else entirely? I don't stop on Highway 209 anymore. I take longer routes, avoid Kalaseen after dark. But the haunted truck follows me. At night, when I'm parked, I smell it. Rotten, heavy, like death itself, seeping into the cab. I hear tires screeching, faint but close, like a rig circling nearby. Last week, I found something under my seat. A black leather glove, stiff with frost, though it was 32 degrees Celsius outside. I burned it in a fire pit, watched it curl and blacken, but the smell didn't go away. Last night, my CB crackled, though I hadn't plugged it in. That guttural voice filled the cab. Samsak, keep driving. I checked my mirrors, my heart pounding, and there it was. A shadow in the passenger seat, blurred but tall, gone when I blinked. The cab camera's red light blinked faster, like it was watching. I don't know what's out there on Highway 209. I don't know if it's the driver's ghost, a Phi Tai Hong, or something the road won't let go. But I know it's waiting, and I know if I ever stop in Kalaseen again, it'll find me. And this time, it might not let me go. Will I ever escape the haunted truck of Kalaseen? If this story gave you chills, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know what's coming next.